Welcome back to Helen Cohen Productions. I'm Joel Cohen, and continuing off of my last video where I ranked all of my favorite movies from every year that I've been alive. Now I'm ranking all my favorite video games from each year that I've been alive on this earth. So let's get started. 1999, Men Sgt Heroes. There was just something about that game that I really liked. It just reminded me of those army men from Toy Story, just running around and shooting like the other colored army, the tan army, that in the game was led by a guy named General Plastro. And it was just one of those really fun games to play just early on a Saturday morning. So 1999, Men Sgt Heroes. Year 2000, Perfect Dark. I was actually on the fence about this one between this game and The World Is Not Enough. But I played through them both again, and I realized that I kind of liked Perfect Dark better, mostly because of the sci-fi setting. I was originally gonna have GoldenEye on this list, but then I realized that GoldenEye wasn't released in 1999 or 2000. Year 2000, Perfect Dark. Year 2001, Grand Theft Auto 3. I used to play this game with my friend back in the day. We'd always have fun just running around in cars and just running people over, shooting up cops, that kind of thing. There was one instance that that has always stuck with me, where when my friend was playing the game, for some reason something was broken with the 5-star wanted level, where he ran over a bunch of civilians, killed several cops, blew up 2 squad cars, and then he blew up a police chopper, and he only got about 2 or 3 stars. But then I crossed one of the bridges to another part of the island, and I instantly got 5 stars. And that has always that memory has always stuck with me and just made me laugh. And honestly, that alone has made it worth just putting it on the list. 2002, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. The game's basically it takes place between Star Wars: The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, where you play as Jango Fett, and really just the game is just you collecting bounties, and that was always fun to me. Even though the game wasn't open world, I kind of felt like it gave you like all these different options on how to approach enemies or how to collect bounties. Like, you can bring them in alive, like just tying them up with that steel cable like in the movies, or you can just shoot them dead and collect your bounty that way. And I always thought that those kind of options were always fun in video games. So 2002, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Year 2003, Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, where you get to create your own character, you get to build your own lightsaber and lightsaber color. You even have the option to like go just single-bladed throughout the story, or you could do like 2 lightsaber hand combat like later down that road. And you also have the option to like, if you want to use more dark side powers like Force Lightning, Force Choke, or if you want to like keep on using light side powers, like you have those options. I always thought that was pretty cool for a game that was created way back in 2003, like before the Fallout series and the Elder Scrolls were well known. Coming on to year 2004, Star Wars Battlefront, the original. I got this one classics disc, or whatever it's called, that was compiled of the first 2 Battlefront games, as well as Star Wars Republic Commando. And I remember playing the original Battlefront so much, I think I wore out my original computer, because it wasn't too long after that where it just stopped playing altogether. But that game was always fun for me, even though that you never got to actually play as the Jedi or the Sith. It was always fun to play on many different maps and just fight against enemy droids or rebels or stormtroopers or whatever, and choosing all of these different classes. 2004, Star Wars Battlefront. Year 2005, Star Wars Republic Commando. It was a great action adventure game all around, but it also kind of had you use like tactics for like a 4-man squad. You run the 4-man squad of Delta Squad, and you're supposed to be doing basically like Black Ops missions during the Cold Wars. There's really only like 3 main stages or blocks or whatever that take you to Geonosis, an abandoned ghost ship, Star Cruiser for the Republic, and then Kashyyyk just moments before like the big battle that took place in Star Wars Episode 3. But those were always fun. In a way, it kind of made you think critically on what you want your AI squad mates to do, or where you want them to go, or if you want them to shoot this bad guy, or if you want them to like access this one door. And then it gave you multiple options on like how to do it. Like, did you want to put in the access codes to get through the door, or did you just want to blow it up? And those were always fun to me. Year 2006, Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, finally stepping away from the Star Wars games for now. Ultimate Alliance, I originally played that game for the Wii. I never got it for like the Xbox or the other platforms, so I'm not too sure if that's any different. But I will say, for the platform that I did play it on, Ultimate Alliance was a pretty good game. How it was able to mash all of these different characters together. Like, you had the Avengers, you had the X-Men, you had the Fantastic Four, and then you had like the more out there characters who work alone, such as like Ghost Rider and Blade. The game was really cool how they did that, and how they also mashed together all the villains on the bad side. Like, you had Doctor Doom as the main villain, but then you bring in all these other characters to form the Masters of Evil, like Ultron, Baron Mordo, Arcade, who is more known as an X-Men villain. Year 2006, Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. 2007, Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. Lego Star Wars is that was actually one of the first games that I ever played on the computer. Unfortunately, I never finished it on the computer, so instead I got it for the Wii, and I ended up beating the game 4 times. When I found out that that was reverse compatible for the Xbox, I bought it for that too, and I played that version as well. It was just really fun, just playing as all these different Lego Star Wars characters and dropping them off in like scenarios where they wouldn't exist, like having Darth Vader fight Darth Maul, or having General Grievous in the Mos Eisley Cantina. And just like with some of the other games that I mentioned, it was just one of those just fun games to play on the morning. So 2007, Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. 2008, Fallout 3. So like I said with Jedi Academy, I always like games that you like get to create your own character, and Fallout 3 was actually one of the first games that I ever played where you could do that, and it had all of these different side missions and side quests on like on how to approach different situations. Like, you can talk somebody down from a fight, or you can just kill them if you wanted to. 2008, Fallout 3. Year 2009, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. There's really not much that I have to say about this one. The gameplay is great. It's a terrific shooter. I did not expect General Shepard to betray the team like that at the very end of it. To summarize it, great story, great gameplay, and fantastic ending. And that actually leads us into 2009, Call of Duty Black Ops. Sorry, Call of Duty Black Ops was actually year 2010. This was more the same. It was a great shooter all around. Pretty good gameplay, great story. The voice actors did awesome, especially the guy who voiced Frank Woods. It's a shame they never got him back for the newest entry, Cold War. But oh well. So the story was great, where Mason is seeing like these numbers, and he doesn't know if Reznov is actually in his head or not. I thought that was a pretty cool addition to the Call of Duty series, like trying to get into the protagonist's mind and all that. That's really all I can say about that game. It was a great game, great gameplay, terrific shooter, and one of the best Call of Duty games of all time, in my opinion. Year 2011, Batman Arkham City, the first ever computer game that I got for my laptop was Batman Arkham City. I ended up playing the heck out of that game, like, so much. Unfortunately, I never actually finished Arkham City for the computer, because every time it would get to the Clayface boss fight, the video would just freeze up. The music would still stay on, but the video would just completely stop. And then soon after, the screen would just turn white until I forced quit out of it. And then when I tried to play it again, it would always stop, like, right at that moment when you're confronting Ra's al Ghul, and he holds a knife to Talia's neck, and Batman is supposed to throw away the sword, except on my computer, he doesn't. So that was a glitch. So eventually I just decided, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna get it for the Xbox. So that's what I did. I beat the game multiple times. When I found out that Rocksteady decided to remaster that and Arkham Asylum, that was one of the first games that I got. But the story itself is pretty great. It was basically a love letter to fans of the entire series, just having all those characters like Batman, Catwoman, Joker, Riddler, Penguin, Two-Face, Ra's al Ghul, even bringing in more obscure villains like Zaz and Hugo Strange. That was always a great part of the game. So 2011, Batman Arkham City. 2012, another Batman game, Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes. The gameplay is just like regular Lego Star Wars games, but the story is pretty great. This was the first Lego game where the characters actually talked, and they really used that to their advantage, especially with the Joker. So all in all, Lego Batman 2 is probably my favorite Lego game. It's surprisingly one of my favorite Batman video games. And it's just another one of those great video games that you can play if you just want to relax and have fun. So 2012, Lego Batman 2. 2013, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. This will always be my favorite Assassin's Creed game, no matter what. So Matt Ryan does a great job as Edward Kenway. It was nice to see him in something like before he was Constantine on his own TV show and the CW shows. The combat in Free Flow is, in my opinion, at its best here. The villains are okay. I do kind of wish that they had like better boss fights. Having naval combat is one of the best. Is one of the best things I've seen in an Assassin's Creed game. It really reminded me of playing Pirates of the Caribbean online as a kid. Assassin's Creed 4, year 2013. 2014, Watch Dogs. The game's really fun. Like, it is kind of like Grand Theft Auto, where you can really go around and do whatever you want. But there's also the added effect that like you're also a hacker, so you can hack like traffic lights. I think you can hack water fountains, but I'm not too sure. But you can hack all these different machinery, including security cameras, to like see where your enemy is, or use them to distract people, and then get the drop on them. And there's even this one feature where you can use your phone in the game to see like if a crime is about to be committed, and then you have to decide whether you want to stop the crime or if you want to let it go. But anyway, it's a really great game. It was a nice little throwback, in my opinion, to the Grand Theft Auto series, as well as just adding in something new with the fact that the character you play as is also a hacker. So year 2014, Watch Dogs. 2015, Batman Arkham Knight. Gameplay is more of the same, like from Batman Arkham City. I think it flows a little bit better than it did in all the other games. It is nice that they did add in the Batmobile, albeit they added it in a little bit too much, in my opinion. That game really does let you like be the Batman, like when you're playing as him, and when you're driving around the Batmobile. So number 2015, Batman Arkham Knight. 2016. Doom 2016. I held off on this game for about 3 years. I didn't start playing it until about 2019, when it was around 10 or 20 bucks on the Xbox store. They updated the story about like the lore with the demons and the UAC, and like who the Doom Slayer is or what he is. And even though there weren't a lot of boss fights, there was only 3 of them, I believe. The boss fights were great. The Cyber Demon, he looked a lot different than what he usually did in the original games, but I consider it a welcome addition, especially with the added addition of like the glory kills that you can do. Same thing for the Spider Mastermind. They also updated that, and the glory kill for that one was spectacular. 2016, Doom 2016. 2017, Friday the 13th, the video game. There's not too much I can say about this game. It's just one of those like multiplayer first games. There are these like single player scenarios that you can play, but they get old real quick. But the game is still fun. You get to play as either Jason Voorhees or a camp counselor and just run around trying to either kill the campers or escape from Camp Crystal Lake, or another one of the maps that you can do. And there's other things that you can do in the game, like aside from like fend off Jason. You can collect these audio tapes of either Pamela Voorhees or Tommy Jarvis. No. Or you can also like work to get these like camp counselor badges, where like you have to barricade a door over 100 times, or you have to stab Jason with a pocket knife over 100 times. Just things like that just made the game more worthwhile than just playing it a few times with your friends and then just calling it a day. 2018, Red Dead Redemption 2. I really liked the old western setting, getting into gunfights, robbing trains. But then there's also other things you can do, like you can hunt down legendary animals. You can become a bounty hunter if you want. You can also become just a collector of all these rare items, like in online mode. Unfortunately, I never got around to playing the stories, and honestly, I don't really want to. So I'm just basing my opinion solely on online mode. So 2018, Red Dead Redemption 2. 2019, Jedi Fallen Order. I'll be honest, I did not have any faith in EA to do this right after how they treated the Battlefront games. But after I finally got the game myself and started playing it, I realized that I was wrong. So the game is about how you are playing as this Jedi youngling who survived Order 66, and in a way to survive, he forgot his Jedi teachings. So now he has to relearn them, and all the while he is trying to thwart the Empire from taking over the galaxy and finding a holocron that will give them access to all these Force users. The actor of Cameron Monaghan as Cal Kestis, he does a great job, especially after his work as the Joker in Gotham. The villains are also pretty cool, especially the Seventh Sister, I believe her name was. It is nice that you can also customize your lightsaber and your lightsaber color, and also like what Cal wears while on his journeys. But it's a really fun open world Star Wars game where you can actually go back to the 5 different planets that you visit after you finish the game. And there's not a lot of Star Wars games that actually do that. So that was a nice breath of fresh air. So 2019, Jedi Fallen Order. Coming to year 2020, Doom Eternal. With everything that was going on in the world last year and this year, one of the good things that stood out was that Doom Eternal got released. Now the game is more or less like a lot of the same stuff that you did way back in Doom 2016. But there are some added features to it, like the meat hook on the Super Shotgun, or like the flame belch on the Doomslayer sword. The enemies, a lot more enemies are added to it. The glory kills are still as great as ever. The Doomslayer himself, you get to find out a lot more of his backstory. You do find out that he's like the original Doom guy from the original like Doom games that came out way back in the 90s. The boss fights are pretty good. Unfortunately, there's still not too much of them. There is the Doom Hunter during the 4th mission, but then after that he just becomes a normal enemy. The Gladiator boss fight is also fun. Fighting the Con Maker at the very end was really one of the highlights for me. The best boss fight is the Icons. Like, it's definitely a step up from Doom 2, since that way back during that game, all he was just a head in a wall. In this one, he actually moves around. You actually have to like shoot at different parts of the body instead of just his head. So all in all, it was a really good game. Actually, Doom Eternal was the only game that I've ever pre-ordered in my life, because it also came with the digital copy of Doom 64, and Doom 64 was actually the game that got me into the series in general. So I originally played Doom 64 on my original N64 console, so that led me into playing Doom 2016 on the Xbox. And then while I was waiting for Doom Eternal to come out at the time, I went back and played Dooms 1, 2, and Doom 3. So I guess I got Doom 64 to thank me for getting into that series. So year 2020, Doom Eternal. And finally, year 2021, Hitman 3. Of all the games that I've played this year, Hitman 3 really stuck out. I'm someone who really loves open world gameplay. That's why I always gravitate towards games like Fallout, Batman Arkham, Assassin's Creed. So I was genuinely surprised at just how big the world can get for like every level for Hitman 3, and gave you like so many options to like kill your targets, like certain missions that you can do for each level, and you can quit them anytime you want and kill them in a different method. And that was always fun. It was a great way to cap off the Hitman trilogy about the world is your weapon. If that was the finale to the entire franchise, I would say that they ended it on a really high note. So that was my list of favorite video games for every year that I've been alive. Gotta say, it was fun to go back and play all these and then rank them. Just a reminder, this is just my own personal opinion on what my favorites were. But really, that's it for me. Be sure to check out my favorite movies per year. I filmed both of these back to back. That's it for me. You guys have a great week, and also have a Merry Christmas too.